Only 4 years after the AK-74 was created, its shortened version, the AKS-74U rifle, appeared. It is handy, rapid-firing, and so compact that it fits even into an ordinary briefcase. It was issued not only to pilots and combat vehicle crews, but also to paratroopers and special forces. However, during the First Chechen War, the AKSU became one of the most despised rifles in the Russian army. Military men hated this weapon and tried to replace it with any other rifle at every opportunity. But what was the reason? So, in 1966, in the USSR, the Lightness project was launched. Part of it was creating the AK-74 in 1974. However, already in the process of its creation, the Russians decided to start another development. The fact is that after the PPS and PPSH were withdrawn from service, the Soviet army simply did not have compact weapons. Such weapons were required for crews of combat vehicles, tank drivers, pilots, and artillery men. In general, all types of military personnel who do not normally fight using rifles. At the time, they were armed with either underpowered APS pistols and overly bulky AKMS rifles. Moreover, the request for more compact weapons was also in the airborne troops, as well as in special forces and in law enforcement forces. Therefore, in 1973, the modern project was started, which resulted in the appearance of the PP-1 rifle, also known as AKS-74U, 6 years later. The barrel was shortened by half. Because of this, the powder gases did not have time to burn in the barrel, emitting a significant burst of fire. This made firing uncomfortable and demasked the soldier. To remedy this, a more effective flash hider was developed. Due to the short barrel, the front sight was moved closer to the rear sight. It is known that the greater the distance between the two, the more accurately a soldier can aim. Therefore, the rear sight had to be moved back and placed on the dust cover. And since the cover on the AK is not the most securely fixed part, it was equipped with one more attachment point. As a result, the dust cover became hinged, not completely removable. These are all fundamental differences between the AK-74 and the short AKSU. But why did many soldiers dislike it? There are several reasons. AKS-74U is too big and powerful for a personal defense weapon, but not efficient enough to be used in full-fledged combat. Instead of a compact submachine gun, tankers, artillerymen, and truck drivers got a big and overly powerful weapon, and pilots had to carry it in a huge belt holster. It would be enough for all these guys to have a submachine gun, because they will only use the weapons to defend themselves if their vehicles are hit. On the other hand, the AKS-74U has too low range and accuracy to be used paratroopers. By the way, that is why they were among the first to give it up. A separate problem of the AKSU, unlike other AKS, is its rapid heating. As the soldiers used to say, after several empty magazines, the rifle starts speeding instead of firing. At the same time, the accuracy and precision of the AKSU are about 2.5 times lower than those of the AK and the AK-74. And due to its lower weight, the barrel drop and recoil when firing in bursts are much higher. During the Chechen War, when the army was in chaos, AKS-74U was sometimes given even to infantry units. This caused even more hatred for the rifle, which received many rather unflattering nicknames at the time. Special forces were not enthusiastic about the new weapon either. The NSPU night sight mounted on it was almost as big as the rifle itself. This made it heavy and extremely uncomfortable. The same can be said about the 6G17 grenade launcher, also known as the BS-1, part of the Kanu-Reika complex. On the other hand, it is impossible to use a conventional GP-25 grenade launcher on the AKS-74U, as the rifle simply has no mounts for it. There were also problems with the silencer. The PBS-4 allows firing subsonic ammo only in single-shot mode. After each shot, the rifle has to be reloaded manually. In general, the AKS-74U rifle was the epitome of a bad compromise. Trying to create a rifle that would suit everyone resulted in developing a rifle that hardly meets anybody's requests. That is why, when the PP-1901 Vitez submachine gun and AK-105 appeared in Russia, They displaced the AKS-74U in many units. Those who needed a good defense weapon and a submachine gun for police operations opted for the Vityaz. For those who needed a compact but effective weapon for combat, AK-105 became the best choice. That's all for today. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe the channel. See you next week.